Welcome in, new Sarah Fraser Show podcast. And as always, we go live on TikTok and we have too much fun. Hi, TikTokers. I go to my TikTok lines because I need all y'all's opinions on these topics that we have to cover today. So, Sister Wives, the Sarah Fraser Show is known for its Sister Wives, gossip, breaking news. Mary Brown, her bestie Jen Sullivan have been on the show. Ben Brown, who's a nephew of Cody Brown's, has been on the show. I would say a lot of people know my podcast for my Sister Wives commentary. Well, one of the most fascinating things off the show that people are interested in is the finances of this family. There's a new story out breaking down how basically all of the Sister Wives have declared bankruptcy. Okay. And first of all, I know a lot of people have declared bankruptcy, so it's really not that big a deal. And I didn't realize this. But you declare bankruptcy and then essentially 7 years later, it doesn't even count. So I guess go for it, declare the bankruptcy. Anyhow, Screen Rant, the publication, took it upon themselves to remind us and do a breakdown of the Sister Wives declaring bankruptcy, when they did it, how they did it. Blake Lively brought Ryan Reynolds, Justin Baldoni, Taylor Swift updates. Okay, two big things. This past week, at end of the week and weekend, the New York Times has filed to have their lawsuit that Justin Baldoni filed. Where is he? On my TikTok. That Justin Baldoni filed to be dismissed. The New York Times say that they did everything right. They simply brought to America what they do all the time, which is they brought people news. They brought a complaint. They didn't manipulate anything, and therefore it should be dismissed. We may know in the next couple of weeks if that lawsuit with Baldoni and the New York Times and Wayfair Productions is moving forward or not. So we're going to talk about that. And then Taylor Swift continues to be absent from Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds' lives. And a lot of people feel with Blake Lively now hiring a new crisis manager, if Taylor Swift doesn't speak up for her like she did for Kesha, remember, Kesha obviously had the famous lawsuit against Dr. Luke, and Kesha funded Kesha. Taylor funded Kesha's lawsuit against Dr. Luke, gave her money, donated money. And Taylor Swift herself was sexually assaulted by a radio DJ who put his hand up her skirt. So why is she not coming to Blake Lively's defense? Has she switched teams? Is she on Team Justin Baldoni? And then right now I'm going to give you you're only going to hear it here first on the Sarah Fraser Show, but a person, okay, wait, now they wanted me to conceal their identity. So hold on. I do have exclusive tea about Karen Huger, her first day in jail and how she's doing, but I can't give away this person's identity. Okay. I will say this. It's a Sarah Fraser Show listener. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for the hearts. Hit the hearts, share the live. Let's do a little breaking news about how Karen Huger, Real Housewives of Potomac, is doing in jail, only to be heard here on TSFS. Okay, so I won't say the relationship, but this person, I have proof, says my blank, somehow this person is related, fingerprinted Karen Huger and took her mugshot. The blank said that she was very motivated to serve her time and work any way she can within the jail. She wore an all-black YSL Yves Saint Laurent bodysuit and was super nice and talkative. Okay, so remember how we were all concerned that Karen Huger was not doing great and wouldn't do great in jail? My source, TSFS listener, says she was in a YSL jumpsuit, y'all. She was talkative. Maybe Miss Huger is going to be happy in jail. Maybe Karen needed some jail. Catherine says, oh my God, love to hear the Karen tea. Well, there is the Karen tea. Okay. A TSFS listener knows somebody that in the jail fingerprinted Karen, took her mugshot, said she wore an all black YSL bodysuit, was extremely talkative, super nice, and was incredibly motivated to serve her time, and even asked and said that she was looking forward to seeing what she could do in jail. Now, does this sound like Karen? Who knew Karen Huger might actually thrive behind bars? Why? What? I'm sorry. I thought Karen Huger would have been a disaster, not chatting up the check-in officer. who was taking her mugshot, and she was apparently asking, what she could do around jail. She was very motivated to serve her time. Excuse me? This is a big departure. Jay Cool says that Karen Huger will be out in 9 months. I hope the hell not. It was a 2-year sentence with 1 year suspended. I hope she serves almost that entire 1 year. She's had 4 DUIs. You all have heard me. Obviously, so many of you listen to this podcast daily because it's a daily pop culture show. I have ranted about this, but 4 DUIs is obscene. I mean, I cannot even, I don't know how the frig she hasn't been in jail prior to this. She should have been in jail a long time ago. Catherine says, I can't picture Karen in jail for a year. She might hate it after night 1, LOL. Mackenzie says, this sounds so Karen. She's going to mentor like it's her job. Oh my God, you're so right. Ah, you know what? I didn't even think about that. This is very Karen Huger. She is. Karen is going to think that she can mentor these people in jail, that she can help everybody. Oh my God. Mackenzie, you are so spot on. Oh, the grand dame, like who is taking advice from this woman now? She needs to be in a full-time AA program in jail. Instead of asking this, person in jail, this representative, this officer in jail about, what she can get busy doing in jail. She should have asked like, when are the AA meetings? That's what she should have asked. Oh my Lord. Thank you for the badge, Bob. Bob, we love you. Anyhow, hit the hearts. Yeah. Can you believe this? So anyhow, you're only going to hear it here, but apparently Karen Huger is like thriving in jail. Who would have known? Okay. Let's move on to Sister Wives, and then we'll talk Blake Lively. Screen Rant. I love me some Screen Rant. They do a lot of deep dives. They have now given an update on bankruptcies that the Sister Wives had filed because so many people are curious about their finances. Now, just a refresh for all my Sister Wives fans. The reason that everybody is continuing to talk about their finances is that it has been revealed in the past couple of weeks that Robin Brown has a $60,000 doll collection. It's like her therapy. Apparently, the dolls are very meaningful to her. They have $100,000 to $200,000 art collection, and Cody and Robin have purchased a $2.1 million home. Okay. Okay, wait, hold on. Before we move on to that, I have to talk about Margaret, who's a social worker, and she's on our TikTok lines. She says if people go into jail with a positive attitude and feels remorse, they do all right. Really? Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Really? If they go in with a positive attitude and remorse, they do okay. Real? Okay. Why is that, Margaret? Can you elaborate? Like, why is it they just they feel like they're there for a reason and that's what gets them through? Okay, sorry. Margaret's comment was hot. We'll come back to that. Okay, so they are breaking down how did all the Sister Wives at different points file for bankruptcy and now are apparently doing so well. Mary Brown has Worthy Up. She apparently owns other businesses. She's got the LuLaRoe leggings. They're all into the MLMs. Hey now. Janelle Brown was the first to file for bankruptcy back in 1997. Janelle had hard times, and it seems that money problems had followed her for many years before they all landed on the Sister Wives. She filed for bankruptcy in 1997. Starcasm accessed copies of the documents related to the Brown family's bankruptcy filings, putting them on the internet. In Janelle's paperwork, her monthly income was extremely low, barely exceeding her frugal monthly expenses. She did have assets, but 2 of them, part ownership of vacant lots, wouldn't give her access to cash until they were sold. She also owned a car with a rather low Blue Book value. Overall, her financial picture was grim. Janelle filed for bankruptcy doing what she had to do at the time. The woman who went on to work to provide for her family says she left her spiritual union with Cody with almost nothing. When Janelle filed for bankruptcy in 1997, she owed over $20,000. Oh my God. Well, back then, that was like 20 grand was a lot. Cody and Mary filed in 2005 for bankruptcy. If everybody recalls, now Mary seems to own her own businesses, is doing great. Cody is getting ready to move into a $2.1 million home. By the way, I'm still looking. Does anyone have pictures? Does anyone have proof? If you live in Flagstaff, Arizona, or your friends do, have you seen them moving into this $2.1 million mansion? Why haven't we seen any photos? It's been very quiet. Are they moving into this mansion? Just saying. Cody and Mary filed for bankruptcy in 2005, and it was a joint filing. Cody's monthly income at that point was a little under $4,000 per month, while Mary brought in almost $900 per month. Now remember, 2005, they did not land the Sister Wives TV show until 2010. And the first couple of seasons, you don't make any money on reality TV anyway. They actually got on television back when like you could really still make money, and they certainly have made quite a bit of money from reality TV. Nowadays, like it's you don't even make. I think Bravo might be the highest paid. Anyhow, Cody and Mary's expenses were $6,100 per month, and they had a combined income of about $4,900. With that kind of income, it was nearly impossible for them to pay down their debt, which exceeded $229,000 at the time. They owed so much money on mortgages for a Utah home. $90K of that was owed on a mortgage. The remainder debt was linked with car loans and retail purchases. Cody and Mary had a range of debts from a host of popular retail outlets, including stores like the Home Depot, Lowe's, and chain stores like Sears. Sears? Someone can go bankrupt shopping at Sears? Okay. I mean, what in the world were they buying at Sears that got them into bankruptcy? Lowe's and Home Depot, I mean, I understand that. You're remodeling, you go and buy a washer dryer. Before you know it, you've spent $15,000 at the Home Depot. This was all before, of course, Cody Brown's David Yurman jewelry obsession, which he now has. Okay. So that's when they declared bankruptcy. Christine Brown filed for bankruptcy the exact same year that the family landed a TV show in 2010. She had her own financial problems and decided to file for bankruptcy in March of 2010. Christine earned over $2,100 a month, but her monthly expenses were hundreds of thousands of dollars higher. Her assets were scant as just over $1,500. At that point, she had charged a lot on her credit cards with over $22,000 in credit card debt. Oh my God. I mean, how these guys kept having kids with all this. As Janelle and Mary wait for Cody to sell Coyote Pass, it's reportedly valued at over $800K. It's actually valued at $1.3 million. We know this from a tax assessment. It's easy to see why the entire family would love him to sell, as they all are finally beginning to experience wealth and extra money in their pocket. Cody and Robin, of course, have gone on to move into a $2.1 million home. But there is some of the backstory of how this family has declared bankruptcy. Let's see. Somebody says, Mama Horn says, yeah, after making over $700K from the sale of the house Janelle and Mary helped pay for. I know, I do wonder if they ended up getting money from that house in Flagstaff that they just sold. Jay Cool says maybe bought it for an Airbnb. I think, maybe Cody and Robin bought it for an Airbnb. Okay, wouldn't that be amazing? Oh my God. I'd be going to stay there. And then Margaret says, they got their kitchens remodeled by Sears. I read that in the bankruptcy reports. Oh, well, that'll do it. Okay. Remember when Sears would redo your kitchen? Yes. All right. Before we move on to the latest with Blake Lively, Taylor Swift. Where is Taylor Swift and her bestie, Blake Lively? Is she now Team Justin Baldoni? I want to tell you about my mug giveaway. It's the first of the month. The first of the month, we give away Sarah Fraser Show coffee mugs for this show. Okay, all you have to do is go to Apple Podcasts, leave me a 5-star review. Tell me what you love about this show. Maybe something you would fix or improve on. Hit 5 stars, write the review. When you publish it, boom, you take a screenshot, you slide into my DMs with your first, last name, and your address, and we just send you a free coffee mug so you can sip tea while you listen to the tea. Get yourself a free TSFS coffee mug. So simple. Just leave us a 5-star review and boom, we send you a free coffee mug. There you go. Do you sign it? You know what? I haven't been signing them, but maybe I'll need to start. No, I just send them out. Oh, okay. Maybe we need autographs. That's a good idea. Let's talk about Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, because this story, I say it all the time on this podcast, but it doesn't slow down. First of all, let's talk about the New York Times. The New York Times has now asked, this was just last week, this was just on Friday. Okay, so this is brand new. Has asked the court to dismiss Justin Baldoni's defamation lawsuit. In the coming weeks, we are going to find out how legit a judge thinks that Justin Baldoni's and Wayfair's lawsuit against the New York Times is. Did the New York Times not fully disclose text messages? Did they leave out information? Did they manipulate images and know about Blake Lively's complaint that was filed in the state of California long before they admitted? Did they give this man just such little notice that they intentionally wanted to sink Baldoni and Wayfair Studios? Because that's part of this $200 million lawsuit. Well, the New York Times is asking a federal judge to dismiss Baldoni's defamation suit against the paper for its role in publishing a bombshell report that ignited the legal battle between Blake Lively. Baldoni has accused the Times of working in coordination with Lively and her PR team on the December 21st article entitled "We Can Bury Anyone: Inside a Hollywood Smear Machine." That revealed the actress had filed a civil rights complaint accusing her It Ends Us With Us director and co-star of misconduct. The piece also contained allegations that Baldoni and his representatives engaged in an elaborate effort to tarnish Lively's reputation in retaliation after she raised concerns about her on-set behavior. So in this recent filing, this is what the Times is saying, why this should be dismissed. The Times accuses Baldoni and his company Wayfair and his PR team of trying to drag the Times into their larger feud with Lively, and claims that the New York Times merely engaged in news gathering and publishing an article and video about Wayfair Lively dispute. In conclusion to the filing, the paper argues that Baldoni and fellow plaintiffs' suit tells a one-sided tale that has garnered plenty of headlines, but the Times does not belong in this dispute. Do you think that is true? What do you guys think? On the TikTok lines, do you think that the New York Times doesn't belong in this fight, that they really didn't do anything wrong? In a statement, a spokesperson for the Times said, quote, "Our motion shows this case should never have been brought against the Times." Blake Lively raised serious concerns about the way she we're still waiting for the serious concerns, by the way. Now, is Justin Baldoni, I think, guilty of being too much of a feminist? Yes. But we're still waiting for these serious concerns about the way she was treated on set and after the movie's release. We did exactly what news organizations should do. We informed the public of the complaint she filed with the California Civil Rights Department. Mr. Baldoni's misbegotten campaign against the Times, questioning our ethics, attempting to discredit our reporting filing, is a baseless lawsuit, will not silence us. So what do we think? What do we think? Do we think that the New York Times really had no, wasn't doing anything nefarious, really didn't, withhold text messages? Okay, so fascinating. I wanted to see what else they wrote. So anyway, we will find out then in the coming weeks. I mean, like I said, if the New York Times is found guilty, if this is not dismissed, if they really didn't disclose, I am done with mainstream media. I will never subscribe to another one of these so-called legit news sources ever again, because that is like, they literally were influenced by Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively and only published half the story, which is what Wayfair and Baldoni claim. So we will see. Now, if the New York Times wins, I got to eat crow, and I guess I will still be subscribing to the Wall Street Journal and the LA Times. I never really, I haven't subscribed to the New York Times, honestly, in a long time. Okay. The other story circulating by the Daily Mail, an insider is now claiming about Taylor Swift, new revelations about Taylor Swift, Blake Lively's friendship, and what's going on with Justin Baldoni. An insider is telling Daily Mail that Taylor Swift appears to have distanced herself even further from her best friend, Blake Lively, who is accused, of course, Justin Baldoni, of sexual harassment, despite being the godmother of Blake's children. The insider also noted that the Lava singer successfully sued DJ David Mueller for battery and sexual assault. Now, if you all recall, Taylor Swift says that DJ reached under her skirt and groped her backside at an event in 2013. Following the lawsuit, Mueller attempted to sue Swift for defamation. However, she countersued him and got herself a symbolic $1 in damages and won the case. Following the legal battle, she pledged to donate to multiple organizations to help sexual assault victims defend themselves. So where is her support for Blake Lively? People continue to ask this. Also in 2016, Swift made headlines for generously donating $250,000 to pop star Kesha, helping her legal fees in her ongoing battle with Dr. Luke, whom the TikTok singer accused of sexual assault and psychological abuse. Now, remember the Kesha story kind of ended with like they both admitted to some wrongdoing, but he was never prosecuted. Okay, insiders share to the media outlet that Taylor is a sexual assault victim herself and spent more than a year of her life fighting a case that she knew that she could win. She has donated money to sexual assault victims, adding, if Taylor truly supported Blake, would she not be publicly backing her? The source told the media outlet some people feel that Taylor should be offering comfort and using her platform to rally Swifties in support of what is right. Where is Taylor Swift in helping to get people to like Blake Lively again, to believe Blake and Ryan? Taylor appears to have gone so silent and is staying out of the public eye. Will this now likely play a role in Justin Baldoni's defense and actually will help Justin Baldoni? I mean, this is so interesting. So some people are saying that they feel the longer that Taylor Swift stays silent, doesn't come out in, standing with her bestie, that this is going to continue to help Justin Baldoni's case. And that a lot of people believe has Taylor Swift secretly sided with Justin Baldoni and Wayfair. Now, again, I also told you last week on the podcast that Blake Lively has hired CIA PR crisis manager Nick Shapiro. Nick Shapiro helped advise the Obama administration through the Boston Marathon bombings, through Sandy Hook. I believe she's hired him to settle. I do. To settle and how to best navigate out of this disaster. Oh my God. Thank you absolutely for the gift. Okay. Love you all. Hit the gifts, hit the hearts. I think that. Now, a lot of people don't think that. Brian Friedman, Justin Baldoni's attorney, has said, how are you going to settle when they've accused this man of sexual harassment and destroyed his career? You think we're going to settle? I think every lawyer wants to settle. Sorry to my lawyers, but I think most of them like to settle. And I think if Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds made a public apology, basically saying that he is not a sexual harasser, they write a big check, yeah, I think they would settle. So it still does not seem that the tides are turning in Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds' case, but now with Nick Shapiro, who has handled, obviously hugely tragic events, the guy's a pro in what he does. Will we see Taylor Swift come back out and support her friend more? Will we see her donate, stand up, rally the Swifties? Whew. Okay, I have another thing for you to watch. A lot of you guys agreed with me that the Baldwins, which is Alec Baldwin and Ilaria, is really good. It's actually really good. Okay, the other show I've got to watch because so many of you have asked me about it is Big Family, Big City, which is on TLC, about this apparently super conservative family that has 11 kids, and they've moved to New York City to try and make it as like a family band and singers, and they put the kids out on the street to busk, which essentially means to like play music for money. People are like crapping their pants apparently about this. They only aired one episode. I think it was like a test, and it just aired on the 28th, which I think was Friday. Okay, so I got to watch that too. But if you guys were in love in the 90s, if you were in love with Luke Perry from 90210, there's a new documentary on CW called I Am Luke Perry. Go watch it. It's first of all, do you know what I love about this documentary is it's most of these documentaries, like I can't even watch the Ruby Frank one. That's the YouTuber that was so physically abusive to her kids, and the husband that I think kind of sat by and let it happen, probably for the money and the fame. I can't even watch it. Like how people can abuse children, they have to be so mentally fucked up. I mean, they really do. It is, kids are the most innocent. I mean, yes, are your children like a pain in the ass at times? Of course. But to physically do that, I mean, you have to be such a fucking nut, And unfortunately, it's probably happened to you as a child for you to abuse a child, right? So I can't even watch the Ruby Frank one. But I Am Luke Perry. If you actually want to watch a documentary about a good human being, because we only hear about like these bad stories in Hollywood, right? The murders, the Weinsteins, the Diddy. This is the nicest 2-hour documentary. It shows a man who like loved his work, was handsome beyond belief, and just sort of had this like amazing attitude towards fame of like dealing with all the women. And he never became like, he never went off the rails and became this crazy like drug addict. He actually loved the acting. He maintained a normal life. He was a fabulous friend. This documentary is so good. It's a little slow, I will tell you that. And his kids don't appear in it, which I thought was a little strange. I would have liked to have heard from the kids a little more. But some of the 90210 people appear in it. And here are some of the things, by the way, that you might not have known about Luke Perry, which the documentary goes into. First of all, I had forgotten that he was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which is the Quentin Tarantino film. And that was almost like for Luke Perry, the greatest honor. That was almost like him making it beyond making it, because everyone wants to be in a Tarantino film. And I forgot this. He actually left 90210 after 5 years. So before his monster payday, because that show ran for like 10 seasons, 11 seasons. So he had actually left. He decided because he wanted to pursue and be a legitimate actor, like a movie actor. He wanted to direct, he wanted to write. So he left 90210 after 5 years before he got a monster payout. I had no idea. So anyhow, some of it was a little boring. It was. I wish they'd gone into more detail about his life growing up in Ohio, that kind of thing. And he died at the age of 52 of a massive stroke in 2019. But what a hottie. Oh my God. I mean, they don't make them like that anymore, do they? I'm trying to think of like Timothée Chalamet is like such a great actor, but he's not like hot. You know what I mean? He's like Gene Hackman. That kind of like a fabulous actor. But I mean, who is like a teen heartthrob? I guess Justin Bieber doesn't act. Oh my God. Luke Perry back in the day. And it was a type of fame before like phones. Now everybody's famous, just get a TikTok. Anyhow, I Am Luke Perry on CW. Just put it on, have a cup of tea. It's still cold, I feel like, in most of the United States. Put on a nice pair of warm socks, wrap up in a blanket and watch. It's good. I mean, what an actor and just like a down-to-earth person. Okay, people want updates on Bad Baby and Alabama Barker drama. I need your investigation. Okay, Jennifer, coming soon. Coming soon. Okay, Alabama Barker, I cannot. Like something about her I find so fascinating to watch. Bad Baby, I don't know. After she and her mom beat each other up in her house recently, I'm just like, it's so trashy to me. Not that stopped me from ever covering a story. I think how I suddenly am like, oh, I have standard. Oh, Bad Baby and her mom beating each other up. I'm, so beneath this show. Meanwhile, we've had sugar babies on and porn stars that have threesomes with the Lord, with the Holy Spirit. I mean, come on. Okay, you know what? I'm doing an investigation. I'm doing it. All right, you guys, such a great Sunday update. Maybe we'll see what happens with the Oscars. We'll have to talk Oscar stuff too. We'll see. I don't know. No one's watching it apparently. And as always, if you want to launch your own podcast or you have a podcast and maybe it's not quite making the money you want it to be, I've got podcasting courses and I consult one-on-one. Go to gobigpodcasting.com. Use the promo code TikTok20 for 20% off everything. Gobigpodcasting.com. Okay, bye everybody.